Welcome to the eSales Podcast, your ultimate guide to mastering the art of online selling. Whether you're an entrepreneur, business owner, digital marketer, or sales professional, this podcast is the passport to dominating the digital marketplace. In this episode, I had a lot of fun with Tanya Bugbee. She's a business coach who helps real estate agents, entrepreneurs, and business owners grow their business to the next level by teaching them mindset strategies and giving them clear foundational strategies to take their business to the next level. We also dive really deep into social media presence and also the power of delegating tasks. So if you are ready to take your business to the next level, this is the perfect episode for you. My name's V, your eSales navigator. Join me as we dive into the latest strategies, tools, tactics to help you automate and conquer the world of online sales. Get ready to boost your online sales game and unlock your full potential. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome to the eSales Podcast. My name is V and today we have the lovely Tanya on with us today. And today we'll be talking about leadership, business, how to run a business, strategies, the tactical, everything, because she's been coaching for 10 years plus. And so she's been teaching high performance entrepreneurs, real estate agents, business consultants, all sorts of different people on how to actually best position yourself to be successful in business. We all know that running a business is not easy. It's not just shoot and go. We need to put in strategies in order for us to super be successful. And so we have Tanya to really dive deep into these topics today. So Tanya, welcome and hello.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here and grateful for the time that we're going to spend.
Me too, me too. I'm loving the energy. I'm loving the orange. So let's dive into that. Tell us more about you and how you got started in business coaching.
Oh, it's a long story. I have been a business owner. I have been a business owner in many different businesses. And the very, very first business I had, I was 18. I lived on a sailboat and I flipped sailboats. So my boyfriend and I at the time, we bought and sold sailboats and we flipped them. We fixed them up, sold it, bought a bigger one. So that started way back then. And I've owned a flight school. I helped people get their pilot's license and owned a flight school in Maine. I've been involved in the corporate world. I was a corporate trainer for Jenny Craig. And
Oh, wow.
then I got into real estate and I have been licensed in 3 states because then my ex was a corporate trainer and we moved a lot. So I've been licensed in Florida, in the state of Texas, California, and started my business anew, obviously fresh with each time becoming a top producing realtor. I had a business coach. When I was doing my last spot, I was in Houston, Texas, and I hired a real estate coach. And within 2 years, I was a top producing agent in Houston. And that company recruited me in. When my kids got older and went off to college, I remember my coach saying, "What do you want?" I'm like, "I don't know what I want. My kids are gone." Right. I was an empty nester. And my kids, and I'm from California, so they went to colleges in California. I'm like, I want to go back to California. And so they recruited me in because they are in the coaching company was in California. So they recruited me in, and that's how I started coaching. I was a corporate coach for 6 years with that company. And then I went off on my own. And that was one of the scariest things I've ever done is at the time I was around 58 years old. So it was kind of scary starting a business all on my own back then. And now I'm 3 years in, and it was the best decision I ever made. So I don't know if that's kind of a long journey because of my age. But no, now I have my own coaching company, but I loved giving back and coaching and watching people hit their goals and being able to share the struggles. Cause obviously it's not a straight line downhill in any job or business. And so for me to authentically be able to share my journey and then watch other people relate to that and continue on with their journeys and succeed year after year is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. So tell us more about, maybe some of the key challenges that you constantly see your clients or other business owners facing.
Well, That's a great question. And everyone's a little different, but the two most common things I hear is one, being confident and courageous on marketing around videos and social media. People get really afraid to put themselves out there. I want
Mm.
to say they feel naked, right? When they, right? Because it's like, can we do a video? And they're like, I can't do a video. So there's
Yeah.
a lot of fear and lack of confidence around social media on what to say, how to say it, not
Mm.
to sound, salesy. So confidence and knowing what to do around that. And then
Mm.
just other pieces of business. Again, there are so many different ways to drive from one location to a next, right? You can go the slow road, the fast road, like there's so many different ways to get to a location, but we got to pick one. And I know a lot of business owners get stuck with and have a hard time pushing start because they don't know which road to take.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
have the confidence to stay on that road.
Yes, yes, yes. I love that. I love that you said, pick one road and then have the confidence to stay there. Let's dive deeper into that. What does that mean? And what does that look like when
All
someone's
right, so
going
I'll
through
use a
that?
real estate agent, for example. And again, I coach many business owners. My roofer is another one I could use, for example, but
Yeah.
I'll use real estate. There are so many different ways to grow a real estate business. There is online. You can purchase leads. You can network. You can farm. You can definitely start a list of people that know, like, and trust you and market to them. There are so many different things to do. And for a new agent to do all of them at once, A, it's costly, and B, it's overwhelming.
Mm.
And you're not going to do it well. So I really encourage my clients to pick two. And a lot of times I'll make recommendations because I've talked to them for a few hours. I understand. Let me back up. Here's a great example. I coach a young single female who has two young children. So
Mm-hmm.
single mom, two kids, has a goal to sell 20 homes in 2025. I also coach a gentleman, a single gentleman who's 50-ish, same goal. I want to close 20 homes this year. They both have, they're both going to hit their goal if they execute, but they each have a different plan, a different road. So the single guy is going to go networking and get out there, and he's into photography, and he has a big plan. And then the gal that has two young kids under the age of 5, she's doing more online. She's doing more stuff on social media because she's home. The last thing she's able to do is to be out every day with two young kids that aren't in preschool even yet. So they both will reach their goals, but they both have very different roadmaps.
Mm. Mm.
Their tactics are very different.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
But it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make one right or wrong. It's just different. Now, the gal that's home, I don't want her to feel bad that she can't network every day, right? It's just like, it's okay, let it go, you know? So there you go. And then, of course,
Yeah.
the person doesn't want to do videos.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
okay,
That's true.
right?
Yeah, 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 that's right. That's right. Okay, there's so much to uncover here. Let's talk about the video side and the not
Mhm.
wanting to actually go into social media because it's scary, you're feeling naked.
Right.
What would you recommend for those people? What if, actually, another question, what if it's not for them? Or what would you say otherwise?
Okay, so two answers. One, if it's not for them, it's okay,
Yeah.
because there's other ways to grow your business.
Mm-hmm.
However, it is a phenomenal way to grow your business. So then we just break it up into what do you do? What do you feel? So for one client, I won't do videos. Okay, let's do some static posts. Let's start there. Well, I don't know what to say. Okay, so then we have to kind of peel the onion on giving value and finding what she is willing to do. And if the first post is about how to prepare your home before the photographer comes, awesome,
Mm.
right? So sometimes they just don't have the ideas. Sometimes I do need to give them a push. Like between now and tomorrow, I want to see a post.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it always happens.
Yeah.
So, right? It's like, oh, and then there's excuses, and I have to coach through the excuses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if I answered your question well. It's sometimes it's just making really tiny baby steps, or if we really, really have an aversion to social media, then we have to find another road.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. But I guess in this day and age, you mentioned before social media, one of the key platforms to grow a business. Not the only. I hear that.
Not the only one.
Um,
I still think it's important to be there, even if it's not an avenue to grow your business. It's important to have a presence on social media. People are going to Google you.
Hmm.
Most people are. I know when I have a client come to me for coaching, they'll say, "Oh yeah, I already Googled you. I saw I liked your website." They already kind of check me out before they call me,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, 100%. That's right. That's right. That online presence. I guess it kind of builds in that trust. When I'm looking at a service provider, I also look at the reviews, look at the website. What are they
There
doing?
you
Are
go.
they, are
Yep.
they matching my vibe, matching my style or anything like that? So
Yeah.
I would agree with that. And so for those people who are slowly moving into this space and also balancing out the business as well. Is there a strategy or a method to posting on social media rather than just posting about anything?
Yes, there is. I actually with a lot of my clients, they have their marketing calendar built out either 6 months or a year in advance.
Yeah.
So some people struggle with a year, but they're good with 6 months. And so what's the theme for January? So first we start with themes. So with January, it's around setting goals. And so like my realtor, who do you know that has a real estate goal for buying, selling, or investing this year is the message.
Hmm.
With my roofer would, similar message, but they're not going to say who do you know buying, selling, or investing. So it's kind of having a theme so they have some direction on where they want to go. For example, if it's coming into summer, how do you prepare your home for summer?
Mm,
Or if it's winter, what do you do to prepare your home for winter? Or what do you do when you
mm,
have a snowstorm? Or what do you do when you have a fire? Do you have a go bag?
mm.
So there's kind of some themes
Yep.
depending on, you know, your business and also what's happening, in the world during that month. Maybe it's a Mother's Day theme, who knows?
Yeah.
Um, so first kind of building out that calendar, and then I do want them to put some of their own personal stuff on there, not a
Mm.
lot, but they need to know that you're a real person. When I post a picture of my 9-month-old granddaughter, it goes viral, right? It just goes viral, right? Or if I post a picture of me and
Yeah,
my
that's
dog
so
walking
true.
on the beach, it goes viral,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yep.
So, but they're like, oh, Tanya has a dog. So yes, I want some personality and some personal stuff on there. I don't do it every day, but
Yep.
I do intentionally post some of those posts, and it just cracks me up, you know, how, how they just go viral. And then I'll spend 15 minutes creating a post and making it valuable, and then it'll, sometimes it does it. I mean, I'll get some likes and views and shares, but not like when I post my granddaughter, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, um, so things about that's valuable to your business, things that are valuable to the person reading it, and then personal things. And so yes, we get on a rhythm. Like, is that 4 posts a week? Is that 3 posts a week? Again, most of my clients start out with very little if they're fearful of it. And then once they realize it's not so scary, they start adding to it. So I
Yeah.
want them to I want to kind of meet them where they're at and help them move forward.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they're like, oh, this is good. And all of a sudden they get a lead, so it's learning it's how you grow confidence, right? It's like
Yeah.
growing a muscle. You just don't have a 6-pack ab the first day you do sit-ups,
Oh, I
right?
wish. I wish.
I wish, right? First time you buy sneakers, you're not running a marathon. But yes, I do want them to build out a calendar and putting it in their calendar when they're going to do it. I do a
Mm,
lot of my social media preparation on a Sundays. I'll carve out 2 hours on a Sunday to work on
hmm.
my newsletter, work on my
Hmm.
videos. I'm going to create 6 videos.
Mm.
It's in my calendar. I know when I do it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Otherwise, if I don't systemize it and put it in my calendar, executing, I'll come up with excuses.
Mm, mm, mm. Of course, of course. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that, having that dedicated Sunday to actually do content creation.
Mhm.
I think it kind of simplifies things, like that you're going to do this on a Sunday, so it sort of makes sense, rather than thinking when should I do it, so the when never
Right.
comes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, yes. And if it's in my calendar, I'm good at least 80, 90% execution
Yeah.
versus just in my head.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 of course, of course. I love that, Tanya. And so, with that social media strategy, are there any like trends or anything specific that you would recommend? Any specific pieces of content that generally you find gets better leads or not so much?
Well, other than when you post your grandkid and your dog. Yes. When it's something of value for that person, tips on how to maintain your roof or tips to how to what to look for on like my financial planner. He has great tips for clients and they look for his posts.
Mm,
So it needs to be something of value and not this just the generic, you need social planning. And there are
mm,
5 reasons why you need to have a financial planner.
yeah.
It is actually giving them solid advice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then they start to follow you, trust you, and then feel comfortable to reach out. I mean, I
Yeah.
know there's lots of strategies as far as lead magnets, and yes, they work. A lot of my clients have created resources for their clients, either around financial planning or insurance, or my realtors that might have a phenomenal moving checklist.
Mm,
They get a lot of response from that too.
yeah. Yep. Yeah. 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 Of course. Of course. And so, when for you, what's your strategy? How do you find what works for you, Tanya?
Well, that's a loaded question, V. I was somebody when my coach had advised me 2 years ago to get to really focus on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So I post 4 or 5 days a week on LinkedIn for 2 years, and it was not the most profitable 2 years that I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still there on LinkedIn. I love it. I have met so many phenomenal people on LinkedIn. I don't regret a minute of it. Just
Mm-hmm.
in all walks of life. And they actually come in and will do pop-up trainings for my clients. So if it's a financial planner or a video specialist.
Mm,
So anyway, I actually love social media when it comes to connecting with my friends and family and business, but it's
mm-hmm.
been a long journey to come to that love. It's really been a bumpy road.
Mm-hmm.
Then I found my demographic. So that's another tactic or advice is know where your people are. Because my real estate agents aren't on LinkedIn. If they're over 50, they're on Facebook.
Mm,
If they're under 50, they're on Instagram.
yeah. Yep.
So it's like I have to go where my clients are, like
Yeah.
my ideal client.
Yeah.
So so when I switch that, now I have more leads and success online because I've changed my strategy. So again, I don't
Mm,
want anybody to feel stuck with a strategy. I
yeah.
did stick I did stick out LinkedIn for 2 years, and I'm not saying it's not a good platform. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as leads for my business, it's Facebook or Instagram, and then knowing the age demographic because I am over 50 and I am on Facebook. That was the first platform that came out for us,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and when I started real estate or any of my other businesses, there wasn't an online presence. I didn't even
Mm,
that word didn't exist. I'm aging myself and I'm showing my age, but there was not something called an online presence when I owned the flight school or I was flipping sailboats.
yeah. 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 Of course. Of
There was no
course.
online. I mean, I owned the first Apple computer. I was about 19 when I bought the first Apple computer, but there was not an online presence,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's only just a recent thing. I get it. I get it. And so
Yeah.
I love what you were saying about where are your ideal clients. I think you definitely like are really specific about that, and that kind of helps channel where to focus on. Like I
Focus.
know for
Yes.
me
Because
when I
you don't
first
need to
started,
do
I was
all of it.
everywhere. It was
Yeah.
exhausting.
It is
Yeah,
exhausting.
I
Yeah.
get tired.
Yes. And it's a rabbit hole when you get on them too, right?
Yeah.
It can be a huge distraction. And that's
Mm,
another thing I coach on is you can get on Facebook or Instagram or any platform, and then all of a sudden you're just scrolling because you're
yeah.
there, you're posting, you're liking, you're commenting. It's not just posting and ghosting,
Mm,
right? As a strategy.
no.
And then I have my clients set an alarm so it kind of wakes them up because you just kind of start mindlessly scrolling. I like, okay, set an alarm so that you stop, come back later, because it can be a huge time suck.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So hard. So
I
hard.
live that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me too. Me too. So, with getting distractions, and we're going back to that same theme about, channeling, having that confidence to actually stick to that path. Um, how or what suggestions or strategies would you recommend to having the confidence to stick to that path or sticking to that one platform for, say, 3, 6, 9, 10 months, that kind of thing?
Well, my strategy is I lean into my coach. So if you have a coach or somebody that's mentoring you, lean in
Mm,
because we're really good at creating stories. And some of us, create stories in our head that, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough, or I don't post interesting things. And we let ourselves off the hook really easy.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I check in with my community of friends and my coach to help me stay focused and motivated.
Yeah.
Doing this
Yeah.
alone is not a recipe for success.
Yeah. 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 And so for those people who are thinking about a business coach or even thinking otherwise, I'm not quite sure, what would you recommend for them?
Well, most business coaches, myself included, offer, a strategy call. Like I'll offer 1 hour free strategy call or a discovery call, ask me questions, right? It's just go find out. There's no obligation. I mean, I'm not saying all business coaches aren't going to be pushy and try to get you to sign up. I don't.
Yes.
And my friend coaches don't either. It's like, come find out, talk to us, and if you feel comfortable, you want to put your toe in the water. I offer group coaching, so a lot of people will start with group coaching because it's
Mm-hmm.
a lower cost.
Yeah.
um and then they typically upgrade to one-to-one when they're once they get comfortable, or many people just jump right into one-to-one. Just go explore.
Mm,
Just don't be afraid to take that 1 hour free discovery call. I'm not promising that some of them aren't salesy because I have no control over what another coach might do, but mine aren't salesy. I
yeah.
sincerely want to know where your struggles are. Hopefully you walk away in an hour with one or two ways to overcome some of those struggles. Obviously, we're not going to cure everything in 1 hour.
Mm,
And if you like what we talked about, again, I don't have anybody sign a contract where they need a coach with me for a year. I
mm,
ask for a 3 month commitment, but I don't hold anybody to it if they can't.
mm-hmm.
Most everybody stays. Most of my clients I have coached over 5 years. I have clients that
Wow.
we're seventh year.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
I- and we are month to month. Nobody has a contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot.
Oh, and I love it. Yes, because every year there's a new goal. Like,
Mm,
like my agents who are come to me with not selling anything, who are now selling 7 homes a month. I help them interview client for assistance. So I do interviews with them, not for them, to help them pick assistants. I mean, every year they grow, right? And
yeah.
and I'm there to help them grow and be efficient and effective and not have too many bumps and bruises. We
Mm,
all have bumps and bruises, but hopefully I save them from a lot of them.
yeah. 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 Yeah.
So
That's
anybody
that's
thinking about it, go explore. I
yeah.
mean, no one, right? There's no obligation, I hope, from anybody, because
Mm,
I can, like, I have a client in Melbourne and I'm in California. Most of my clients are in the United States,
yeah. Yeah.
but not all of them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
I
cool.
recommend it. I've had a business coach for since I was a real estate agent. And my kids, again, yeah, I don't coach family. My mom's actually a real estate agent. I don't coach my mom, but I've recommended a great coach for her.
Yeah.
You don't coach family. Um, I recommend it.
Yeah.
It does. When coaches help you through those crazy things that we come up with in our heads.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I truly understand that and I get it. I don't have a business coach at the moment, but I used to have a business coach and it really, really helps. And I think it sort of like really fast tracks
Yes.
the business processes. And actually for me, I find that making decisions it really helps to have someone to
Yep.
support you and kind of be that mirror to say yes, no, or just kind of
Yep.
speak the thoughts around. I find that extremely helpful. And so, for me, that one-on-one coaching session is so invaluable every single month, week, whatever, to actually
Yep.
grow, not just in business, but myself as well. So I love that. I love business coaches. I love what you do.
Yeah.
So what makes your offering unique, Tanya? What's special about how you coach?
One of my superpowers around coaching is really tailoring it to my client.
Mm,
There are phenomenal coaching companies out there.
mm,
However, they usually have a one size kind of one technique,
yeah.
right? Like, right. And I'm not saying they don't work. They will absolutely work for some people, but for some people it doesn't.
Mm,
So where I stand out is just like I had said with my two different clients who have the same goal, but their roads are different,
Mm-hmm.
I really do listen and customize their roadmap so that it works for them
Yeah. Yeah.
and not let them feel guilty that they can't do something that somebody else is doing, right?
Mm.
It's like, we can make you successful. Even if you're a single mom, you can be successful. And business coaching isn't just around business. It's also around mindset. It's also personal
Mm.
things,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm.
everything works together and
Yes.
touches each other. But it's the customization piece. I'm
Mm.
not a one size fits all, do my technique and you're going to be successful.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
great.
some people have challenges.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. That's really reassuring to hear. I don't know, when you look at marketing, you see that there's this kind of method and this sort of method
Right.
and you know,
It's like the
um
grapefruit diet worked for some people, but not
yeah.
everybody, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It doesn't
Right,
quite sink in with everybody.
right,
Exactly.
right.
And so someone like myself will just look at that method and just kind of palm it off and just look past that. So I
Or
think,
say coaching doesn't work.
or yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah, so true, so true.
Yeah.
And so, with the next steps, Tanya, with your business, your growth, your clients, where are you looking at going?
Well, I've been in business now. This is March will be my third year.
Yeah.
And I have been so grateful for the business. So my next leap is hiring some back end help now that I'm growing.
Awesome.
And, so I'd love to have a social media manager,
Yeah.
those kind of things. So yes, where I'm going now is delegating, and that's scary. And I get that with my clients, right? As they're growing in their businesses, they now need to delegate. And so that's my next phase is delegating
Yeah.
and setting up some back end systems as my business grows and I get more referrals.
Oh, yes,
Yay.
yes, yes. Let's dive deep a little bit more into delegating, if that's okay, because I love this
Yes.
topic. What is it? Why is it scary?
I get this every single time, and it even comes up. And when I say it to myself, I'm like, Tanya, no, do not go down that avenue, right? But everybody says it. It's like I can do it better. And by the time I train somebody, I could have had it done. And it happens with my executives. It happens with my business owners. I hear it like I can do it better. It's
Mm,
learning that
mm.
this isn't rocket science, and we have to hire. Number one, we have to hire correctly.
Yeah.
Um, that's why I help with my clients with the interview process when I go on the interviews with them.
Mm,
Typically, they're on Zoom and we interview uh, because we do want to hire correctly and we do need to start again delegating. What are you comfortable delegating? Where are we going to start? And each of my clients a little different with where they want to start. I
mm.
promise you, once they start, they're like, I wish I listened to you sooner. I needed this person months ago.
Yeah.
But it is trusting and knowing that there are other people can do what we do
Mm,
just as
mm.
well.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
can,
Okay.
maybe even better.
But I guess for the one person or the people who hold
Yeah.
on to those tasks, why? What is the reason behind holding on?
Typically it's fear of losing business or looking stupid,
Mm.
whatever their stories are in their head. Some people thrive in chaos. So again, it's not a one size fits all answer, but there are, come on, some people
Oh,
thrive in
I'm one of
chaos.
them.
Okay. So all of a sudden, well, what am I going to do with my time? Right. So I don't know that I have one answer for you, but it's a fear of something.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay,
It's my
okay.
job to peel away the onion on that fear. But
Mm,
yeah,
So I guess for the audience, when they're listening here, they've got fear. They may be thinking, "Oh, leaning in to say, okay, this could be me." What would you say to them?
write the fear down. Just start writing about it. Dear fear, I'm afraid of you. Like talk to the fear and write it down. I know it's going to sound a little wooey,
Yeah,
but I want you to talk to your fear.
dear
My
fear.
biggest
Okay.
quest, right? Talk to your fear. Like, what is it that why are you here? Have a
Mm,
conversation with it. And my biggest question that works, this works for people, not for my younger clients. This definitely works for my clients that are a bit older, 40 or older, definitely anybody over 50, is talk to your 108-year-old self. Like if
Okay.
I ask my 27-year-old daughter to talk to her 108-year-old self, it doesn't relate.
Mm.
At
Mm-hmm.
27, you don't feel that you ever will be 108.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I ask my 60-year-old client to talk to her or his 108-year-old self, I typically get tears because
Mm.
we feel it. We know it's there. And our 108-year-old
Mm.
selves are very wise.
Yeah.
They are.
What a beautiful way to kind of get someone to think above or beyond and kind of get out of them. I'm thinking now as
Right?
you're
Yeah. So
saying.
that 108-year-old self is going to say, you're worthy of help. You need
Mm.
help. I want you to go
Mm.
have fun with your kid. Don't miss another soccer game,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Don't miss your kid's soccer game. Get some help. Your
Mm.
108-year-old self really does know,
Yeah.
but you got to really listen.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
if and I'm not saying a 27-year-old can't relate to that. I had my kids do my adult daughters. I have two daughters, and they're 27 and 29. My 29-year-old maybe a little bit can relate to that. My 27-year-old's like, I have a 9-month-old. I'm not talking to my 108-year-old self. Sorry, mom.
Mm.
Again, you don't coach family, right? So
No.
maybe the person who said it to my daughter, it would resonate more. Um, but that works. Like, talk to your fear at any age. Talk to your fear.
Mm.
What is it that you're afraid of? What's really
Mm.
stopping you? Because the
Yeah.
first answer isn't usually the real one.
Mm. Mm.
That's typically the excuse.
Yes.
Talk to
Yes.
your coach, talk to a coach, because we know how to
Mm.
help peel the onion, right? We have tools in our back pocket on peeling onion, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And talk to your 108-year-old self. What do they really want you to know? And so someone's really holding on to something, and yet they come to a coach call crying because they haven't seen their kid play soccer in 2 weeks.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's a lot more than that meets the eye. There's a lot of layers.
there's layers in
There's
there.
so
Yeah.
many layers. Someone was talking to me the other day and they're like, another layer, no, another devil, another level, like another layer.
Yes. 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 And of course, there are valid reasons when someone wants to hire an assistant. It's like, well, then there it is. Then yes, you are managing somebody. Yes, there is leadership skills on having conversations and how to giving feedback is an art. So then I have to coach them on how to give feedback that doesn't hurt
Mm.
someone's feelings yet, but it's clear, kind, right? So yes, there's more devils involved,
There.
right? And more learning involved. So that's part of it too.
Mm,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, okay. Okay. Um, but I guess, on the journey of business and when you are in the next phase, whatever the next phase you or the other person or the clients may be, um, what would you recommend for someone kind of going through the next phase in business or the next decision? What strategies, if they were kind of listening on right now, do you think you would give them to help them today?
If they wanted to take their business to the next level.
Yeah, like they're at a sticking point. They need to
Yep.
make a decision or a
Hmm.
shift or a change. What would you recommend that they do or think or say at
Okay,
that
so
time?
no laughing. The first thing I would have them do is go look in the mirror and remind themselves of all the things that they've accomplished in the past. Like just starting was a leap and took a lot of courage, right? So if anyone doubting that they can take it to the next level for whatever reason, go look in the mirror and see that you've done it before, you can do it again.
Hmm.
And say that I've done it before, I can do it again. And so it comes to the first thing we need is that, like I have Wonder Woman behind me. We need to find our inner strength and our
Mm,
inner courage
yeah.
because we all have it. Sometimes it hides.
Mm,
And then
yeah.
have a plan. So my clients that come to me will have a mission statement and they know how they want to run a business. And then I want to know how they're going to run their business. Like, are they going to focus on lead generation on social media? Are they going to focus on networking? Have a plan, not just winging it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
create strategies around each piece of their pillars.
Mm, hmm.
I don't want somebody to have 6 pillars, right? That's the overwhelming piece.
Mm, yeah.
If they're
Okay.
doubting that they can do it, I know they can. If they're a business owner and they started, they can do it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
And then, yeah, you need the plan. And then we got to execute the plan. And if you don't know how to create the plan or you're not sure how to do it, then you want to hire a mentor or a
Mm,
business coach. You do, because
yeah.
it's okay not to be able to do it by yourself. I don't
Mm,
do it by myself.
yeah. Yeah. That's so true. I think it's that mentality of I can do this on my own. I can do this by myself. I do the best job. I don't want to let go.
Mhm.
Yeah, lots of stories. And I can completely relate as well. I'm just, my mind's just like ticking as we're talking, from a space of observation and curiosity, and I get it. I get it. And I really appreciated that you kind of brought this up to the surface, to speak about these fears and have the courage to actually say that it's a thing and it's okay. I think that message is beautiful, Tanya, and I think a
Thank
lot you've
you.
you've made a lot of difference in lots of people's
Yeah.
lives, but just by asking good questions.
Yeah, well, thank you. And we all have them. I know, my clients know that I'm very authentic and real with them. And I have voices in my head that I have to overcome. The
Hmm.
voice that says, "What are you thinking at your age? Why don't you go back to your corporate job and just get that safe 2 paycheck a month job and your 401k and you'll have health insurance?" And it's like, what are
Yeah.
you thinking? Why are you doing this? And I have outside voices, like we talked about. Like I have outside people saying that to me, but I also there's a voice in my head sometimes when I'm tired. Um, that'll say like, what are you thinking, growing growing a business and then wanting to double your business? That's not my strong inner leader voice talking. That's
Mm,
those voices that I don't want to listen to, but they exist. There's not a
mm,
human on earth that doesn't have a voice like that. So every once in a while I'll pop in, and we
Yeah,
need to know how to combat them.
yeah, yeah. And so that is a beautiful way to say how, in order to combat those, how do people find out more about you, Tanya?
I am on social. I am online. I'm out. So yes, I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook. I am on Instagram. Um, I do have a website. I go live on with a broker and a lender the second Thursday of every month. I go live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. I'm out there. They can find me. Put in
Yeah,
my name, Tanya Bugbee, business coach, and yeah. And
yeah.
reach out to me. Happy to have a conversation. Happy to gift an hour of real coaching.
Hmm.
Don't be shy. I promise I won't bring up any of my programs or sell you unless you ask. That is my commitment, that I do not bring that up unless somebody asks.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's such a great thing to hear. And if people ask, it means
Well,
you're
then, yeah, I'm going to tell them about my
you could
programs.
yeah, of
But if
course, of course.
they, right. But if they want to just talk about, hey, I'm really struggling with hiring. Do you have some tips and tricks? I'll give it to them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Incredible, incredible. So what I'll do is I'll have all those links down in the description and so people can have a look and check you out,
Thank you.
and then connect with you on social media, wherever it may be. So
Yep.
from my point of view, I've had such an incredible time speaking with you today, Tanya. I'm really grateful and I really appreciate you sharing your message to not just me, but also the general broader audience as well. So thank you so much. And so any last tips, tricks that you'd like to share to the audience today?
Oh, just please go look in the mirror and say that you can do it.
Yeah.
You've overcome a lot. Whatever your story is, your story makes you who you are. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
leap.
Leap.
Yeah.
Leap. Incredible. Well, for those of you listening, like, please get off this podcast right now, look in the mirror and tell yourself that you can do it. Thank you so much for your time, Tanya. Thank you so much all for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you listening into the show today. And if you did like our content, please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast or this YouTube series so that way we can keep giving you more content and sharing you more knowledge around how to scale your sales online. And if you are wanting to boost your sales online, please sign up to our e-sales school where you will learn to automate and navigate your way around in this digital marketplace. Thank you so much once again. I really appreciate you joining in today. And remember to keep selling, keep having fun, and keep being you.